Antonio starts right now.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. It is now 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Thank you very much to Patty. She's giving me a little adjustment on my collar here.
Yes,
Patty coming through.
Hey, we have an adjustment on the calendar too, because it is the 1st of July.
What?
It's
yes,
crazy.
It's here. And we're starting the month off kind of how we ended June with some rain chances and not so hot temperatures. So
That's good news.
we just continue to, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. I keep waiting for that next 100-degree day, but it is not in the forecast. And as we look at the authority radar this morning, we've got some showers out west, Uvalde, Eagle Pass. This is all light stuff, but every little bit helps. And on top of that, you get all the cloud cover and it keeps temperatures down. So it's all positive news. We don't have a lot of rain here around San Antonio this morning, but we could see some as the day wears on. We'll have some chances really all day long with some downpours likely popping up by the afternoon. This is the Futurecast, and this is for 9 o'clock this morning. Shows some spotty showers continuing, with the best odds, by the way, being west of San Antonio, yes. But I think we have about a 30% chance here in town today to see some of these showers. This is 5 o'clock. Still shows some activity out west, maybe down to our south and west. And we'll do this again tomorrow, too, and on Thursday. So this week, as we look at some of the headlines here, spotty afternoon downpours, we keep that trend going. Best odds actually will be Thursday afternoon, it looks now, because that's when we'll have some of our deepest moisture. And 4th of July, good news here is it looks like we'll kind of dry out, so we'll be good to go for fireworks. Again, all positive. Our forecast today should take us up to around 92, 20% chance first half of the day, 30% chance second half of the day. Guys.
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. While closed campuses in the San Antonio ISD radius could become housing in the future.
So that was one of the many things the communities around those closed schools said that they wanted to see. Apati Santos joins us right now with an update on the progress being made to repurpose those buildings.
Hey there, good morning. First, we want to show you the school buildings that are located. A lot of them are on the north, east, and south part of downtown area, and there's a few of them in the west side. But in just a few months, we're going to be hearing more about the ideas that the community has for these campuses. In an SAISD statement, they say by the fall, they will be ready to accept facility repurposing proposals. That is when businesses and organizations who want to rent out these buildings can formally pitch their plans to the district. Those interested in learning more about those rentals should reach out to the district now. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to hear from community members and why some of those buildings could become housing for those in critical industries. Guys.
Thank you very much, Patty. A sad update this morning right here. The 13th victim of the recent floods in San Antonio identified. That was 78-year-old Esther Chung. She was originally from South Korea and had lived in the San Antonio area for years. Friends and family remembering her as a kind woman who loved her church, her beautiful clothing, and life. Now, during the flood, she called for help, but it was too late. There is a funeral service planned for her this upcoming week, and you can go to KSAT.com for the latest developments on those victims and, of course, that deadly flooding here in San Antonio.
Now, this morning, a county commissioner is saying that concrete is a possible answer as to why the June 12th flood at Vital Creek was so severe. Now, here at KSAT, we created this interactive map that you see right here. This is a deadly 1.5-mile stretch on the northeast side where 11 people died. The area's county commissioner, Tommy Calver, met with engineers who said that the concrete in the flooding area is what made the water rise so quickly. Trees and other forms of vegetation would absorb some of that rainwater, but concrete just made it flow quicker. In about 3 weeks, we'll hear from city leaders and their investigation into the deadly floods.
And this morning, we want to get you the latest on a deadly shooting that we've been following. A man in jail facing murder charges after killing a man at an East Side apartment complex. According to arrest records, 34-year-old Gregory Cunningham Jr., you see a photo of him right there, was arrested and charged with murder. The shooting happened early Sunday morning at the Antioch Village Apartments on Upland Drive. That's where San Antonio police say that 41-year-old Marquise Green was found shot to death. Witnesses say that an argument led up to this shooting. Well, and one of our other top stories this half hour, for weeks now, KSAT has been tracking migrants detained outside the immigration courts right here in downtown San Antonio.
And while that continues, attorneys say that there's been a troubling shift where more immigrants who are in the country illegally are starting to not show up and more minors are now being detained.
And most days, a white bus waits on Dolorosa Street. On rare occasions, it leaves empty, but more often, migrants whose cases are dismissed are taken into custody. Now, most are transferred to detention centers in Pearsall, Dilley, or Karnes County. And this morning, a rally and march against these type of detainments will be taking place outside the immigration court, and that starts at 8 o'clock this morning.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump says that his administration is working to create a temporary pass for immigrants who are undocumented and are working on farms and in the hospitality industry. He explained the policy will give employers greater control. Immigrants given a temporary pass would have to pay taxes. The president said that while he is tough on immigration, he also does not want to hurt farmers or people in the hotel industry, and said that he realizes that his current policy is a problem that needs to be fixed. A judge just threw out Ken Paxton's lawsuit against the state fair and the city of Dallas over new gun rules.
Okay, so this all happened back in 2023. These rules coming after the shooting then that left 3 people hurt at the fair.
So the court said that the fair can't keep these restrictions in place. The gunman already pleaded guilty and is heading to prison. The fair says it's all about keeping people safe and will keep working with the police to make sure that everyone can enjoy the event without worry.
Well, the holiday weekend is around the corner. Many people are going to be on the roads for July 4th, but there will also be an increase of police officers, deputies, and troopers on our state highways as KSAT starts its Drive Sober, No Regrets DWI campaign. Now, last year, there were more than 5,100 DUI alcohol-related traffic crashes here in Texas during just the July 4th holiday time period. That led to 64 deaths and more than 220 serious injuries. Now, a few years ago, former O'Connor High School student, you see a photo of him right there. He was also a football player. Charles Trammell was hit by a drunk driver in Fort Worth while he was helping a friend on the side of the road. His parents are part of this campaign.
He didn't get a chance to live out his dreams of becoming a football coach and working in sports medicine. He didn't get a chance to have kids or even get married, all because someone made a thoughtless choice to drink and drive.
Well, Charles died in August of 2022, just days before his 21st birthday. This campaign by KSAT will run through July 13th.
Stories like that, awareness about all that issues. So hopefully, again, we stay safe this holiday season.
Absolutely, Jeff. And yeah, you know what I mentioned earlier, I remember covering that story, got to cover the O'Connor High School football team when Charles was part of it. He was a beloved member of that community, and we want to make sure that everyone stays safe on the roads, especially as we get through the July 4th holiday as well. Let's give you an update here. 35 here at Topperwine Road. It looks like our construction has kind of moved its way a little bit more northeast, so we're not kind of focused on the Forum area. This is going to be over by Retama Park, a little bit headed north towards Selma as well. So you see some of the backups that we're seeing here for our drivers that are going north, but at least through Live Oak, Universal City, and especially Topperwine a little bit further south over by Judson Road. It looks like traffic is at least starting to clear out there, but you're still going to run into some of it as you make your way to the northeast side. 1604 traffic looking much better there after a lot of overnight closures over along Blanco. That entire stretch headed towards Lock Hill, Selma. And one more quick look here, 35 at Alamo Street, still dealing with some construction right there in the upper and lower levels of 35. That is just south of downtown. Okay, let's go to Alex right now with a look at things in Drive Cam for us. My man Alex Gomez on the roads. Alex, how are things looking out there?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So it is not pretty out here on the northeast side. 35 southbound, that exit is closed from 1604. That's a closure that I don't usually see every morning. So again, if you're on 1604 and you can't exit 35 south, you're actually going to have to take an alternate route such as IKEA Parkway or even Pat Booker Road to get to the highway of 35. Also, if you're on 35 northbound, a crash just happened. It's going to be right at Evans Road. The left lane is blocked and there's no first responders yet on scene, so we could see even more delays going 35 north. What you're looking at right here, this is 35 south at Schertz Parkway, and it is pretty much tied up. So the northeast side definitely struggling over here.
Okay, thank you very much. Alex is on it, basically giving us a little bit more clarification of what is going on out there. Thank you, Alex, for that update.
All right, in less than an hour this morning, KSAT Community in South Texas Blood and Tissue organizing a blood donor registration phone bank. This is in response to the shortage of the blood donations during the summer months. We got representatives going to be available to answer any of your questions from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. You can learn how you can participate in this blood donor registration drive on ksatcommunity.com.
Right outside with HUD-CAM. It is 74 degrees, 6:09 a.m. We're going to look ahead to July. It is here. I shouldn't even say we're looking ahead because, again, it has arrived. And we'll take a look at some of the averages, what you can expect rain-wise. We'll take a look at those rain chances for this week coming up.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Justin. Well, coming up, we're going to show you how a new recovery center is offering a bit of a safe space for those struggling with addiction.
And more Project Marvel workshops happening today, what some council members focused on yesterday after the break.
6:13, welcome back to GMSA. Well, we, of course, are continuing to follow the community workshops that are involving Project Marvel. This is the billion-dollar plan to construct a new sports and entertainment district in the downtown area. It would also include a brand new Spurs arena. Now city leaders want to hear your thoughts on it as well. They're going to be hosting feedback sessions on everything about Project Marvel. There are two more happening today. They're going to be bringing up topics like housing, transportation, local businesses, and how they all will be affected by these potential changes. Now, this weekend, we spoke with some Spurs fans who say that they want other people to share their thoughts and concerns on all of this work. Yesterday's workshop focusing on culture and community.
We had two workshops this afternoon. So it's transportation mainly, and then where is everybody going to live? That is downtown, and then kind of the questions are, why do we need this? How are we going to pay for this? And we've got a sheet, and we're here to answer those questions.
That session was on the south side of town. If you cannot make it in person, there's also an online survey that you can fill out.
The Diversity Recovery Center is a new space for people in addiction recovery, specifically for people in the LGBTQ plus community. Open in April, and the organization says it's a loving, welcoming, judgment-free space. Recovering groups of any kind, 12-step and non-12-step, can rent out some of the many colorful rooms in the center.
A person in recovery walks into a space. They're really scared, especially if they're new. So when you're LGBTQIA and you walk into this space, you start seeing that, oh, I'm home and I'm going to be safe here.
The Diversity Recovery Alliance oversees the center. So if you're interested in getting that help that you may need, you have to go to their website's contact section. And we have that link attached to this story on our website at ksat.com. Okay, so this is some concerning video real quick. Yeah. New video showing the moments of a Disney Cruise Line ship that rescued a father and a daughter who fell overboard. But this incident happened on Sunday after a little girl fell from the fourth deck, and apparently her father jumped in to save her. All
right, let's see. We have that video right here. So take a look at that. That was the little rescue boat right there. So according to reports, the Disney Dream, that was the cruise ship, was returning to Fort Lauderdale, Florida from a trip to the Bahamas. Now, it's unclear how that child fell off of those safety barriers, but reportedly the dad jumped right in. Apparently was on the fourth deck. So, I mean, this was a crazy, miraculous rescue. The pair, though, fortunately safely returned back to the ship.
I bet he felt so happy having his little baby in his arms again. So
that's terrifying stuff. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got some NASA teaming up with Netflix to stream the content this summer. The space agency announced rocket launches, spacewalks, and mission coverage will be available on the streaming platform. NASA says that this will make it work in science and exploration more accessible. Schedules and programming details will be announced closer to the launch, but NASA Plus will still be available through the NASA app or on the agency's website for free.
Okay, kind of dig that. Okay, we're going to try this here. EA Sports. It's in the game. The video game company jumping back into the world of college basketball, y'all. EA Sports announcing in this social media post that read, quote, "Bring the madness. Let's run it back." The last time the company released a college basketball game was back in 2009. This new game will feature both men's And women's teams, of course, the women's game gotten pretty popular. However, fans will have to wait a while before they can play it. The outlet Extra Points is reporting this game will not be released until 2028.
There you go. Got to have that patience. It's all right. We got it. Seems like it's going to be a good deal, though.
Yes.
Popular.
Also got to have patience on the roads.
Ooh. What's going on?
Okay, especially on the northeast side of town. That's a shot there at 37 at the Alamo Dome. And you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Texas State is going to Pac-12, y'all. Speaking of some college athletics, I know my guy Justin Horn's excited about that. Eat 'em up, Cats. All right, 281 at Overlook Parkway on the north side of town. Traffic is looking pretty good out there. 1604 Nacogdoches. No major delays out there for our folks on the northeast, that part of the northeast side, but not the case again right here. This is going to be 35 at Topper Wine Road. And as Alex mentioned, one of those exits closed. Going on basically from 35 to 1604, it looks like we now have an accident on the southbound lanes as well. This is going to be our biggest spot for activity. Let's go to Alex right now with a check of things in DriveCam. He's on the northeast side of town. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, and it's really slow out here, RJ. Check this out. So you're looking at the southbound lanes right here, 35 southbound near Rotama Park. All lanes are packed right now. It looks like we're being reduced to at least one lane that I saw earlier. And the accident that we passed as well was going to be on the northbound lanes, 35 north at Evans Road. It was on the left-hand side. And I saw at least 2 cars involved on that one. So be careful because first responders haven't arrived yet. So if they do, and when they do, we could see some more lanes blocked. And the last thing is the exit, 35 southbound exit from 1604 is completely closed. So you would have to either take Pat Booker Road or IKEA Parkway if you want to go from 1604 down to I-35 this morning, RJ.
Okay, good information there as we try and help some of our drivers out there on the northeast side of town. Not looking great for your Tuesday morning commute. How about them Cats, Justin?
We were doing so good yesterday. Listen, it's not, I have nothing, I love Texas State. Let me be very clear about this. It's just that you've been talking about it for the better part of a year now. Texas State's going to join the Pac-12. Pac-12, I heard it forever. It finally happened yesterday, so congratulations. All right, June. Here we go. We're looking back on the month of June. And yesterday we did pick up some rain, 1/100 of an inch. So we're now up to 7.47. That's what the official number is going to be for June. That is 4.19 inches above average. Of course, the bulk of it came on the 12th, which was not such a great day. But yes, it did add up to a lot of rain. What about July? We start the month with an average high of 94, which is about where we'll be today. But we end the month with an average high of 97, and we average about 2.41 inches of rain, and we have some chances to start off the month. As we look at the authority radar this morning, some light showers working south to north across the western part of our viewing area. So Uvalde, Eagle Pass, Del Rio. You're seeing some light rain this morning. It's not going to add up to a whole lot, but you will see some wet roads out there. We're not seeing that in San Antonio. It's just mostly cloudy here. And as you look at the futurecast, it does indicate that maybe we do get a few light showers a little bit later today. I don't know that we'll have as much coverage as we did yesterday here in town, but if you're west of town, you certainly do have a good chance of seeing some showers and storms today. This is around 10 p.m. tonight, and it shows another round of light rain moving through, which is great for the farmers out there in the Winter Garden region. Outside, mostly cloudy here in San Antonio, 74, 73 in New Braunfels, 74 Converse. Northeasterly winds right now at about 5 miles per hour. In the forecast for today, 20% chance of rain for the first half of the day. Then we bring it up to a 30% chance during the afternoon. 92 will be your forecast high. Here's the setup. In the upper levels, we do have that heat high, but it's not really all that strong. It's geographically pretty small. It's sitting over parts of East Texas and Louisiana, so things are sort of dry there. But on the west side of it, we're getting a good feed of deep moisture coming in from the south, and that's why we continue to see rain chances. San Antonio points west, and especially across parts of West Texas. But on Thursday, some of that moisture drifts a little closer to us, so I think Thursday's a good day for rain. And then after that, this high starts to kind of meander west, and that should dry us out a little bit for 4th of July. Let's look at that forecast. Sunset is at 8:37 on Friday, by the way. Rain chances, we're going to put them at 20%. I think most of it should be gone by the time we do some fireworks. 90 at 7 p.m., 83 at 10 o'clock. Looks good for all our festivities going on. Okay, 93 tomorrow, 92 Thursday. You see the rain chances there. They do drop off by Friday going into the weekend, and that means temperatures go up. 96 Saturday, 97 on Sunday.
All right, just as I need these definitions.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Our question for you this morning is, what is the most common weather feature San Antonio sees during the summer? Is it dry line, cold front, sea breeze, or hurricane? We see all of these.
Okay.
But one is more common than the rest, and right now, dry line is leading the way.
What's dry line? What does that mean? Quickly.
Dry line is a separation between very humid air and very dry air.
Cold front. We know what that is. It's
Yes.
just like, and the sea breeze.
Yes, sea breeze is a wind that comes off the Gulf, and you know what a hurricane is.
Okay. Okay. I am confident.
Boom.
It is 6:22 right now. 74 degrees outside.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
In this morning's GMA First Look, new eyewitness details on that cruise ship rescue at sea.
It was the most terrifying and scary situation ever.
Watch the moment a rescue team saved a father and daughter after going overboard a cruise ship. The two were on the 4th floor of the Disney Dream when the little girl fell over the rail, the father immediately jumping in. Witness Tracy Hughes watching the entire moment unfold, telling GMA the dad was a hero.
This father, his child fell in the water. He instinctively, without hesitation, jumped in and went after his child. And I believe had he not done that, his child may not have survived.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on this dramatic cruise ship rescue. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A happy Tuesday. Coming up on 6:30 right now. Of course, we are starting our day off a little busy in your department, little busy in your department.
Oh, yeah, it's getting busy on the roads. It is the first day of July, too, so cannot forget that.
And
July 1st.
I know, rent day. I know a lot of people just like start reminding us that. I'm on the struggle bus just as much, so I'm trying to brace myself to figure out how low my bank account about to be.
It is the first of the month. Yes, indeed. Don't forget about that. But let's try to put it out of our minds. Okay, let's talk about rain chances. We've got a 30% chance today. Really, most of the day, we're already starting to see a few showers out west. Not much here in San Antonio this morning. But a 30% chance today, tomorrow, 40% chance on Thursday. So this week is turning out to be a little more fruitful rain-wise than we initially thought, and it's great. Yesterday, that light rain brought us a lot of cloud cover, kept temperatures down. It was really all good. I think the rain chances do fall off for the 4th of July and over the weekend, and then maybe pop back up a little bit next week. But the bottom line here is spotty downpours. There could be some brief but heavy rain. We are not looking for hail or flooding, and really this is just kind of the garden variety showers that you love to see during the summer. 86 noontime, 2 o'clock, 30% chance rain. We'll keep that going through 4 o'clock. 92 will be your high temperature. Real quick, I did need to touch on the tropics. We've got Hurricane Flossie out in the Pacific. Winds are at 85 miles per hour. It's moving west-northwest at about 10. This is going to stay off the coast of Mexico. And it may bring us a little bit of upper level moisture, but really no big impacts for us when it comes to Flossie. And there is one area in the Atlantic over the Florida area that they've also are monitoring for some potential development. All right, coming up, we'll talk about our 4th of July forecast. That's in just a few minutes, but we get it over to RJ.
Thank you very much, sir. Taking a look at your traffic authority right now and some of our cameras out here on the north side of town. Good morning to all of our folks here along 281 Borkfield Drive. Traffic looking pretty good for our folks out there. That's actually where Piper High School, I think, is out there. And 281 Boulevardy Road, traffic looking good out there for our folks as well as we give you a look here at some of our cameras on the far north side of town, past Stone Oak. Good morning to everyone out there. All right, northeast side of town. Here we go. We've got a lot of activity right here for all of our drivers that are headed not only northbound traffic but southbound traffic as well. Right now we're seeing some major delays right here over by Live Oak Universal City, and as Alex reported earlier, the exit to 1604 from 35, one of those is actually closed at the moment due to ongoing construction. Now our southbound traffic being affected by a crash that was closer to Evans Road. So let's kind of give you another look here at traffic on the northeast side of town and take a look at that. That is the backup right here at Schertz Parkway on I-35. I-35. That's going to be our southbound traffic making your way through parts of Selma. So not a great situation out there for our folks, our drivers, northeast side of town. Let's go to Alex right now with the very latest in Drive Cam. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. It's going to be a long morning for everybody on the northeast side. So 35 northbound has 2 crashes now. 35 north at Olympia Parkway, the right lane is blocked, and then further up the road, right there at Evans Road, the left lane is blocked for a separate accident. So that's the northbound lanes. The southbound lanes, check it out right here. I just passed all of the lane closures. It's only down to 1 lane, 35 south in between 1604 and up to Schertz Parkway only has 1 lane open. It took me 25 minutes to get through that area going 35 south. So both sides of I-35 really struggling. And then of course you have that other exit that you just mentioned, 35 south exit. It's going to be closed from 1604. Your best alternate routes, IKEA Parkway or Pat Booker Road, depending on which direction you're on 1604, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex.
Okay. 6:33 right now. Update to tell you about with San Antonio ISD school closures.
Yeah, something we've been following for some time now. By this fall, the community will be finding out what could become of 13 closed school buildings that were repurposed last year. So let's take a look at the communities that this was mostly affecting. Obviously, SAISD district, mostly on the near east sides of town, a few schools on the south side and a few on the west side of town. So yes, 13 schools in total. That is a lot.
Patty Santos takes a drive to the historic Gardens community in the east side and spoke with neighbors who eagerly await any progress.
What are your thoughts when you drive by that empty building right now?
It's a little, it's disappointing, it's detrimental to the city even itself.
Do you think that it was going to take this long for the board to decide what to do with these?
Yes, because that's our board. And I figure it should be 4 or 5 years before they'll say, oh, people are living inside of them or vandalizing it.
A representative for San Antonio ISD says the work to repurpose the 13 buildings is ongoing. In fact, by the end of this summer, the firm they hired will have a district master plan for those buildings. Based on the feedback, the district is considering turning some of them into housing for people specifically employed in essential roles in the community. One of the challenges is each community where these schools were located have a different vision for what they like the empty buildings to become.
And we need community classes in parenting, cooking, shopping.
Find something to do with these buildings. They're still good. They just need a little love. Even if you have to sell them to somebody that has an idea, a dream for them.
Okay, so by fall 2025, SAISD will begin to accept repurposing proposals from organizations and businesses. The next facilities repurposing panel meeting is July 28th. If you want to attend that meeting, you can call 210-354-9410.
Thank you very much, Patty. Well, this morning, several people without a home to go to after this apartment fire that we brought you as breaking news yesterday. The flames sparking around 3:30 off of Highway 90 near JBSA Lackland. Now, no one was seriously hurt, but 11 people are now out of their homes for the time being. We also know that a firefighter was taken to the hospital to get checked out, but is expected to be okay. Still no word on what exactly sparked this fire.
Bexar County Sheriff's Office has identified the deputy who shot at a stolen vehicle suspect 7 times back on June 21st. So they say that Angel Ornelas was the deputy who tried to pull over the driver of a suspected stolen vehicle, which led to a chase in southeast Bexar County. 2 days later, on the 23rd, KSAT got some home video of the events before Ornelas shot at the suspect's stolen car. Again, Ornelas shot at the stolen vehicle 7 times, hitting the suspect, who was Joshua Garcia, 3 times. Garcia taken to the hospital for treatment and later discharged, but arrested. The deputy has been with BCSO since December of 2023 and has been placed on administrative leave.
And this morning, we're taking a look at some video that got a San Antonio police officer suspended for 5 days. The officer is accused of violating SAPD procedures. So while responding to an incident, you see this video right here, within a 4-minute span, he cursed at least 19 times at a man at the scene. This incident is from back in April. So this man right there tried to tell officers that he was having issues with his vehicle, and that's why it was parked on the side of the street instead of the apartment complex. Publix.
All right, if you saw a lot of people gathering at a CPS Energy board meeting, this is what it was. It was a lot of people gathered yesterday voicing frustrations with CPS Energy. Those at that rally calling for an end to disconnections for some CPS customers who might be considered at risk. So this protest in front of the CPS Energy board meeting, again, some of the groups who were there yesterday include Climate Justice San Antonio, Southwest Workers Union, and Pueblo Over Profit.
Okay, claps all the way around there this morning. The Bayer Bolverde Fire Department celebrating the groundbreaking of a brand new fire station. This one's near Canyon Golf Road and East Borkfield Drive. And the department says that they absolutely needed this. The department serves around 65,000 people in that area. The new fire station will also have a training facility and updated technology to protect firefighters.
What's nice about this station also is we can add some cancer for protection protect the firefighters from that exposure. There will be airlocks between the apparatus room and the bays to keep them from the smoke and the soot and all that kind of stuff. And we're adding some other cancer prevention elements as well.
Okay, they definitely need a new building. This new fire station will replace an old firehouse that was built more than 50 years ago.
Blood donations drop during the summer months, but that's often the time when the need for blood goes up. University Health's Trauma Center often faces a shortage this time of year. As a level 1 trauma center, the need for blood always high. Blood has a shelf life of 42 days, so medical teams rely on that blood donation to keep up with the demand. The biggest challenge is getting reoccurring donors.
We want to keep a continuous flow, so we rely on the people that continue to return to us and to donate because there's a shelf life. You know, blood has a limited shelf life, blood and platelets and all the components we make out of it. And so in order to maintain that with the need, we have to kind of have people continue to come back. It's great. We appreciate one-time donors, but we try to encourage people to continue to donate in order to keep that supply that we have.
KSAT Community South Texas Blood and Tissue organizing a blood donor registration phone bank later this morning from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Representatives will be available to answer any questions that you may have and help you register as a blood donor. We have those details about the blood donor registration drive on ksatcommunity.com.
All right, it is 6:40, 74 degrees. And as we look across the state, and maybe you're traveling for the 4th of July, we're going to get you an updated forecast for that coming up.
Okay, speaking of 4th of July, our Devin Karp standing by to break down some fire safety with us ahead of the holiday weekend. You don't want to miss this story. Coming up on 6:44 on GMSA, well, the 4th of July holiday right around the corner, and depending where you live around San Antonio, look, we love our fireworks, y'all. You're probably going to be looking to celebrate with some fireworks.
So if you're in the city limits, they are illegal. Don't be popping them.
Yes.
But again, this year, no restrictions on the types of fireworks that you can shoot off, but you do want to make sure that you're buying from a legally licensed and inspected shop. Our very own Devin Karp over at a fireworks stand right now with some simple ways that you can do that. Devin, good morning. Where are you located exactly?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I'm over here on the northeast side of town, and if you check out behind me, you really can't miss all the fireworks stands like these that always tend to pop up right before July 4th and on New Year's. And while there is a lot that pops up around San Antonio, there's also a lot of work that goes into inspecting and licensing each one, because they want to make sure that you and your family can stay safe while having fun this year. So earlier yesterday, I had the opportunity to go around with a Bexar County Fire Marshal's deputy to see what it takes to pass inspection at some of these shops and some of the things they're looking for to make sure that you guys are staying safe. They're checking for things like working sprinkler system, no smoking signs, properly routed electrical work for some of these shacks and warehouses, making sure that there's room in the parking lot for fire trucks, that the landscape around it is cut down, that the fireworks you're buying are sealed from the aisles, and of course, that they're legally made. They want to stress that if you're ever at a place and something seems off, especially if you're buying off a social media site like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or going from someone's house, make sure that you can always give the fire marshals a call just to make sure something's right.
So you see they'll have sprinkler heads here too on the outside as well as the inside. So when you're walking up on these things, if you're an average civilian or you don't know if this place has been inspected or you don't know if it's legit, if you see one of these stickers, Fire Marshal, County of Bexar, with the current date, that means that it's been inspected. Okay, so that means it's legit.
So if you don't know everything that one of the fire marshal's deputies are going after, that's a really good start for you guys to check out. That little sticker on the top of a lot of people's windows, that can show whether or not they've passed inspection for this year. You can also ask to see their county and state licenses as well. So of course, when it comes back to having fun with fireworks, remember they are illegal within the city limits of San Antonio, but if you're having fun outside of that, just remember to practice some regular safety. Make sure there's water nearby just in case anything goes wrong. Don't point it at any cars or houses, and especially don't point it at any people. If you're ever going to a fireworks stand throughout the rest of your time here before July 4th and you don't feel like something's right and you want to report it, there's an easy way to do it. All you have to do is call 210-333-335-FIRE. For more information, you can call the Bexar County Fire Marshal's office that way, and they should be able to give something a look that way. For now, we'll go ahead and send it back to y'all. Make sure you're having fun while being responsible. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Get that God's wrath.
Yes.
God's wrath is one of the best. It's like those cannons like do.
Roman candle, huh? What about those?
God's wrath, that's what I see.
All right, let's take a look at the roads right now on your Tuesday morning. Again, northeast side of town is going to be biggest trouble spot at the moment. Give you a look there at 35 Topper 1. Traffic was starting to clear out a little bit, but it looks like we are back in full effect out there in that one particular spot. So let's show you 35 Topper 1. Actually, let's go right here. This is 35 at Schertz Parkway. A couple of accidents now. Specifically, it looks like they're going to be in the southbound road, but I'm curious to see what Alex has to say about this. Both directions of 35 right now. A bit of a mess going through Live Oak, Universal City. An exit closed from 35 to 1604. Real quick, just want to show you the far west side of town. Make sure that we're not neglecting any other folks because we know that things are busy on the northeast side of town. 88 minutes right now. If you're coming in from New Braunfels, so close to an hour and a half for all of our folks out here. Again, things are not looking good here. Southbound specifically, 35 over by Evans Road, Selma, Schertz, and also Cibolo. Let's go to Alex right now with a check of things on DriveCam. Alex, what's up?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So by far northeast side, the busiest across the city. So if you're on I-35 northbound, you're going to have two accidents you have to worry about. The northbound lanes, there's one right there at Olympia Parkway blocking the right lane. And then at Evans Road, there's an accident blocking the left lane. So that's why there's traffic on the northbound lanes of I-35. The southbound lanes, it's all because of construction. And there's two heavy cranes still on the highway on the southbound lane. So they're not even close to wrapping up yet. So I-35 south took me about 25 minutes to get from Schertz Parkway all the way down to about Topper 1. So the biggest delay, definitely I-35 southbound this morning, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. And obviously we got a lot of construction. Justin, did you know that the official bird of Texas now is the crane? Hey, it's a joke.
I did not, but that's I see where you're going with that. That's not bad. The crane. Well done, RJ. And by the way, God's wrath.
Yes.
That sounds like a firework I'm just not going to mess
It is amazing. It is blue. It is blue. It got God's wrath. And I tell you, it will be a show. You will blow up the entire neighborhood.
Well, with that name, yes. Gosh. All right. 74 degrees right now. 73 in New Braunfels. 74 in Conroe. 70 in Bernie. Speaking of fireworks, forecast this week, there could be some spotty downpours. We say afternoon. We are seeing a few showers west of San Antonio this morning, but for San Antonio, likely in the afternoon. Best odds actually Thursday. That's when we have some of our deepest moisture, and 4th of July at it, as it stands right now, looking mostly dry. There are some small chances there, but I think most of that will be gone by the time we get to our fireworks celebrations. The Authority radar this morning shows we have these light showers lifting from Eagle Pass to Del Rio over to Uvalde, but they're all west of town. We are starting to see a little more development south of San Antonio. We'll see if it works its way up into our area, but rain chances again likely jump a little bit higher during the afternoon hours. This is 9 a.m. shows some of this activity, and then by noontime, maybe some heavier showers and storms down to the south and west. And then as the afternoon wears on, we may see kind of another cluster coming up from the south. We'll see where that lands by late afternoon and evening hours. So we think it plays out like this: 20% chance of rain this morning, and then we'll call for a 30% chance of rain this afternoon. 92 will be your forecast high. And here's the upper level moisture that we're looking at. So this is the upper level winds. We have our upper level high. It's a small one, geographically speaking. So there's dry air underneath this thing for Houston and parts of Louisiana. But on the back side of it, we are getting some good deep moisture that continues to feed in through Texas, and that is keeping rain chances in play. Now, once we get into Friday, some of that drier air starts to work in from the east, actually, in this case, and that may dry us out a little bit. Okay, Independence Day, 4th of July across Texas. Maybe you're traveling. Temperatures will be in the 90s most spots, but these numbers are trending down, if you remember from what we were showing you last week. And there still could be some rain out west, so not a lot of travel issues, but just be aware that there could be some rain across the state on the 4th of July if you're hitting the roads. 30% chance rain Wednesday, 40% chance Thursday, Friday, 20% chance rain, and nice and toasty by the weekend. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning has to do with our summer weather features here. What is the most common weather feature San Antonio sees during the summer? Is it the dry line, a cold front, the sea breeze, or hurricane? What do you guys think?
I'm going against the grain. Cold front for the win.
That's a good guess.
I'm going to do sea breeze.
Okay.
Sea breeze?
But my heart says dry line.
Okay. You know what, Jeff?
Am I wrong?
You're a smart person. It is the sea breeze.
Oh, good.
Wow.
You know what? I thought it was.
Look at that.
Yes, don't doubt
2
yourself.
days in a row.
So coming off the Gulf, the sea breeze is a wind that blows onshore during the summer months in Texas. It can form a weak boundary that may stir up showers or storms. It typically arrives during the evening hours in San Antonio, kicking up the winds. So you'll hear us mention this from time to time. It's a little boundary that comes in, and sometimes it'll kick up the rain. But a lot of times, too, it'll just kick up the winds in the evening hours. You'll see it get kind of windy out in the southeast. That is the sea breeze.
I will say, when I was a night beat reporter, when I was here before, that was the most annoying thing for me because my weave be all over the place. Soon as it never failed. 9:59, right when the show started, and I'm like, why? But yes, that's why I figured it out. Sea breeze. Okay, guys, 6:53. It is 74 degrees outside.
All right. Good stuff there. Coming up on GMSA Plus, we have a high-stakes vote on Capitol Hill. Elon Musk firing off some political threats. Lululemon suing Costco over some $8 pants, and a Chinese coffee giant setting its sights on Starbucks. A lot going on. Coming up at